In January of last year, Klarna, the buy now pay later company, quietly announced something that barely made headlines. Their AI assistant had handled 2.3 million customer service conversations in its first month. That's the work of 700 full-time human employees. Gone. In 1 month. With software that costs a fraction of a salary, never calls in sick, and gets better every week. And Klarna's CEO didn't apologize for it. He published the numbers proudly. Here's what made it different from every other AI story. Klarna wasn't replacing warehouse workers, truck drivers, or factory floor staff. They were replacing educated, trained, professional people. People with problem-solving skills, communication skills, product knowledge. White-collar workers. And Klarna is not a one-off. It is a preview. For 2 years, the conversation around AI and jobs has been dominated by reassurances. AI will create more jobs than it destroys. It'll handle the boring stuff so humans can do the creative work. The last time technology disrupted work, the Industrial Revolution, the Internet, humans adapted. Those arguments are not wrong, but they are dangerously incomplete. Because what's happening right now is not a slow transition we have years to prepare for. The displacement is already underway, it's accelerating, and it is hitting the professional class, lawyers, analysts, accountants, writers, junior engineers, faster than any economic model predicted. This video breaks down who is already being replaced, why it's moving this fast, and, crucially, what it means if your career is in the crosshairs. This is Wealth Brief. We cover the business and AI stories that actually move markets and affect your money. New video every day. Let's start with a number that should stop you cold. Goldman Sachs estimates that AI could automate tasks equivalent to 300 million full-time jobs globally. Not eliminate. Automate. Meaning the tasks currently performed by 300 million people could, technically, be done by AI systems that already exist today. In the United States alone, Goldman estimates roughly 2/3 of all jobs have at least some exposure to AI automation, and about 1/4 of all current work tasks could be fully taken over, without any new technological breakthroughs, using tools that are already deployed. McKinsey's research adds another layer. They project that between 2022 and 2030, up to 12 million American workers will need to change occupational categories entirely. Not just learn new tools, change careers, primarily because of AI. Now here's where it gets specific, and where the AI only takes blue-collar jobs narrative completely falls apart. The occupations most exposed to AI automation are not truck drivers or construction workers. They are legal research and paralegal work, financial analysis and modeling, accounting and bookkeeping, medical coding and health administration, software development, specifically entry-level coding, marketing copywriting, data entry and reporting. These are desk jobs. They require degrees. They pay well. And AI has demonstrably learned to do them. This isn't theoretical. The announcements are already happening, quietly enough that most people haven't connected the dots. IBM's CEO Arvind Krishna stated publicly that IBM was pausing hiring for roughly 7,800 back-office roles, HR, finance, document processing, because AI and automation would handle them within 5 years. IBM didn't call it layoffs. They called it not backfilling. But the math is the same. BT Group, the British telecom giant, announced it would cut 55,000 jobs by 2030. With AI doing a significant portion of the work left behind, their CEO framed it as efficiency. But 55,000 is not a rounding error. That's a city. Dropbox laid off 16% of its entire workforce, and its CEO explicitly cited AI as a reason. Not restructuring, not market conditions. AI. Duolingo cut a significant portion of its contractor workforce, specifically the people creating content, and replaced that work with AI generation. And in professional services, the sector everyone assumed was safe, the wave is equally real. Harvey AI, a tool built specifically for lawyers, is now being used at major law firms to do legal research in minutes that used to take a junior associate days. Thomson Reuters acquired the legal AI company Casetext for $650 million. They're not buying it to sit on it. The Big Four accounting firms, Deloitte, PwC, EY, KPMG, are all deploying AI tools for audit, tax analysis, and financial review, and they are simultaneously slowing entry-level hiring. The pattern is consistent. AI enters a professional field through the work done by the most junior, most recently hired, most easily replaced workers. And it doesn't stop there. So what we're really looking at is this. AI isn't waiting for permission to enter white-collar work. It's already there. And the companies deploying it are not the struggling ones cutting costs in desperation. They are some of the most profitable, highest valued companies in the world, moving fast because it works. At the industry level, this is going to compress entry-level professional hiring in ways we have never seen before. Law schools graduate roughly 35,000 new lawyers in the US every year. Investment banks hire tens of thousands of analysts. Big accounting firms bring on massive associate classes each fall. Those pipeline roles exist because the work existed. The work still exists. The question is who or what does it? If a law firm can use AI to do 80% of what a first-year associate does, why hire 10 associates when you can hire 3 and use AI for the rest? This is not speculation. Law firm partners are already having this conversation. The 2024 and 2025 hiring classes at major firms were materially smaller than pre-AI years. That trend is not reversing. The downstream effect is significant. If entry-level jobs in law, finance, and accounting compress, the entire career pipeline shifts. You can't become a senior partner without being a junior associate first. You can't become a CFO without building up through financial analysis. The latter is losing its bottom rungs. If you are currently in, or about to enter, any of the following fields, you need to hear this directly. In legal, AI is already handling contract review, legal research, document discovery, and basic drafting. If your job is primarily any of those 4 things, your role is at risk within 5 years. In finance and accounting, financial modeling, report generation, data reconciliation, bookkeeping, tax preparation for standardized cases. These are in AI's strike zone right now. In writing and marketing, AI-generated copy, ad variants, email sequences, product descriptions. This market has already largely moved. Human writers are being retained for strategy and brand voice, not production volume. In junior software engineering, AI coding assistants are generating substantial portions of production code at major companies. Entry-level developers who primarily write boilerplate code are vulnerable. The safe positions are those that require judgment on incomplete information, relationship management, accountability, and creative synthesis. Not the application of rules to known situations. Senior roles, in other words. Which is great if you're already senior. Difficult if you're trying to get there. Here is what the next 24 months looks like. AI capabilities will continue improving, not at the same pace as 2022 to 2024, but steadily. The tools will get cheaper, faster, and easier to deploy. The early adopters, the Klarnas, the IBMs, the law firms already running Harvey, will report cost savings and productivity gains. Those numbers will become case studies. And competitors will follow. We'll see a second wave of white-collar reduction in industries that are currently cautious. Healthcare administration, financial advising at the mass market level, government-adjacent professional services, and the political response will lag the economic reality by 18 to 24 months, as it always does with technology disruption. Now, and I want to be fair here, there is a serious counter-argument, and it deserves a real response. The optimistic camp argues that every major technology shift, the printing press, the Industrial Revolution, the internet, ultimately created more jobs than it destroyed. Productivity gains lower costs. Lower costs expand markets. Expanded markets create new demand. New demand creates new jobs. And they're not entirely wrong. The internet did create millions of jobs that didn't exist in 1995. E-commerce, social media management, cloud infrastructure, app development, YouTube itself. But here's what that view misses. The historical technology disruptions happened over decades. Workers had a generation to adapt. Children of factory workers became office workers. Children of typists became software engineers. AI is not moving on a generational timeline. It is moving on a product release cycle. What AI could not do in 2022, it can do in 2024. What it can't do today, it likely will do in 18 months. The adaptation window is collapsing. The new jobs created by AI trainers, prompt engineers, AI ethics roles, AI infrastructure, do not yet exist at a scale that absorbs the displacement happening now. And many of those roles require a specific skill set that most displaced workers don't currently have. That gap between displacement speed and adaptation speed is the real risk. Here are 3 things worth watching closely in the coming months. First, hiring data in legal, finance, and accounting. When the ABA, the CFA Institute, and major accounting bodies publish their annual employment surveys, watch the entry-level numbers. If they compress 2 years in a row, the pipeline theory is confirmed. Second, AI productivity reporting from public companies. More companies are starting to break out AI-driven efficiency gains in their earnings calls. When those numbers get specific, headcount reduction per AI deployment, we'll finally have a clean picture of actual scale. Third, government and regulatory response. The EU AI Act is already forcing companies operating in Europe to be more transparent about AI decision-making in hiring and HR. If the US follows, and it's not guaranteed, we may get real data on how many positions are being quietly eliminated versus simply not replaced. Here's the bottom line. AI is not a future threat to white-collar work. It is a present one. The companies making the moves are the biggest, most respected names in finance, technology, and professional services. And the pace is faster than any institution, government, university, or professional body has yet acknowledged publicly. The workers most at risk are not the ones doing the jobs everyone assumed were safe. They are those jobs. The question isn't whether this is happening. The question is how fast you're going to take it seriously. Drop a comment below. Which industry do you think gets hit hardest in the next 2 years? I read every response. And if you want daily coverage of the AI and business stories that actually move markets, subscribe. We post every single day.